Good morning, startup entrepreneurs. My name is Diana Gladney, and welcome to our Saturday live show. But if you're just joining me for the first time, again, my name is Diana Gladney, and I am a small business and personal development coach, and I help startup entrepreneurs transition their passion into the business that you love. And so I wanted to do this live session today because a lot of questions that I typically get are, how do I start a business? A lot of people are typically searching on Google and everything like that of, how do I start a business? What do I do? Where do I go? How do I really get started? What's the basic stuff that I really need to know? And so I wanted to make sure that I got a chance to do a live session, hopefully like an early Saturday morning like today, so everything worked out perfectly timing wise, so that I could make sure that I did that and just go over the simple things of how do you actually do it. And a lot of people feel that they don't have the time freedom, whether they have children, they may have a large family, or even just a small family. Maybe they're a single parent. I primarily work with women, helping them start a business part-time. And the thing about that is they really feel like they don't have the time. I don't have the time and I don't have the money. That's one of the common concerns that people typically have when they're starting a business. I don't have the time and I don't have the money. And so I wanted to do this session today to make sure that we could get a chance to sit down and talk. I can get your questions answered and things like that. And even if you're watching this on the replay, in the next 48 hours, if you post a comment or something like that, then I'll be able to get a chance to respond to you and make sure that you still get your questions asked. But thanks for joining in for today's live show. Again, my name is Diana Gladney with dianagladney.com. And so let's jump right into it. I'm very concerned with time. I always love for startup entrepreneurs. The one thing that we always are concerned about, and that's time. And so again, with that, let's jump right into the message. So typically when you're first starting your business, again, you say, I don't have time, I don't really have a lot of money, and I'm not really sure what to do. Nothing wrong with that. We've all definitely been there, but you want to make sure that you don't stay there. And so with that, first thing that you want to do is you want to know, where is your current time being used? With the time that I have, even though it's not a lot, with the current time that I have, where is it being used? Do my kids have dance? Like a lot of parents that I know, their kids have dance or ballet or, whatever it is going on, maybe soccer or, baseball's coming back around now. So maybe in practice or whatever the case may be. But what is it that you're doing? What is it that your kids have to do? Where are you having to be right now? Not specifically today, right now, but just in general through the week, what's your schedule? So one place that always has a schedule for you is your job. And I'm not one of those people that's going to bash your job and things like that. You already have enough on your plate. So I don't want to add to those frustrations. But the thing is, again, so your job, they can tell you where you're going to be. They can tell you exactly where you're not going to be, because they'll tell you how much you have for your lunch and everything like that. And we're all used to that. And there's no point in, again, rehashing on the things that we don't really like about it. However, it gives you a set schedule to work with. Maybe your schedule isn't set and it fluctuates. And so if you have that, again, from a week to week basis, where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? Before you can even really start a business, you do want to know, where do I have time? Do I only have 2.5 hours a week that I can really spend on just my business? Or even just preparing to get the business going? Or, you want to know, do I have 5 hours? Or am I like a big baller and I have like 15 hours a week that I can squeeze in some kind of way? And sometimes we have to make sacrifices, but we'll get into exactly the what to do's in a minute here. But you want to know, where is your current time being used? Because until you know exactly where you're going to be, how long it takes, you don't have to get very, very specific, but you about want to know almost, if it takes you maybe about 23 minutes to get to work or something like that, go ahead and block that out for 30 to account for anything else that you're going to be doing, like parking and actually getting to where you need to be. So just round up with your time. And then another thing with that is, once you have that laid out, you know what your schedule is going to be, then you'll be able to start identifying the blocks and the things that are potentially a waste of time and so forth. Again, we'll get into more mechanics on that in just a minute, but I want to make sure actually that I get this post shared out, because I forgot slightly. And I do have a gift. I always like to offer a gift to my early bird watchers or viewers. But I want to make sure that if you are joining live, and even if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, that you always get a free gift just for joining on, just from me, and I'll give that to you in just a minute. But again, so you know where your time is going to be or where it isn't going to be, and so you want to know those things. The second thing that you want to do, where is your money? Where are your dollars being spent currently? Because again, without knowing where your time and your money is, it's very difficult to figure out the formula that's right for you to really produce the thing that you want. To start a business part-time, that means you're already dealing with something that's taking up full-time and potentially most of your money. So kids require money. You require money. You have expenses and things that you like on the top of our overhead just for our living expenses, where it's, it's gas, insurance for the house, for the car, for the everything, a mortgage or rent or whatever that case may be. So you want to know, where are your dollars being spent? Again, you will have where you either have the smaller amount on average, it is, it's below such and such, or on a high scale or high end of things, it's this much. So so electricity bill, you may have some months where it may be $30, $40. Then you have maybe some months where it's like $70 to $80, depending on the temperatures and the extremities and things like that of what you're talking about where you live. However, I wouldn't suggest an average, or shoot a little bit higher than the average, because you really want to make sure that, without a shadow of a doubt, that you're going to be able to clear financially. So if it's 50 on average, it's about 50. Just go ahead and do maybe about 65 or so, just to go a little bit higher so that So, okay, it's going to cost me maybe like $65 for, water or any kind of utility bill. What's my internet? What's some of the things that I'm going to need? Because again, to start a business, it is going to take some kind of investment. There is few businesses that you can start with like no money down. A lot of times we'll see that in the real estate market, and you can buy a house with no money down. And those things require some finagling around, like maybe you're going to use some kind of investor, you're going to use like a joint venture kind of deal. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing something. But at the same time, even just to get to that person's house, or get to that meeting, get to that location or whatever, or just drive around to look to find the house so that you can let your investor friend know about it, it's still going to require some time. You got to make sure you have gas in your car to get around. So there are some expenses that you're going to have. There are some things that you're going to need, without a shadow of a doubt. So again, where are your current dollars at? If you don't know, then it's going to be really, really difficult to figure that out. Again, shoot a little bit higher than the average. Don't stay just, below or just barely at the average to make the numbers look right. It's better to know that you don't have it available than to feel and confuse yourself as if you do. And then, it's just like, it's tough. So I'll give you some resources and things like that as well, of what you can use to just kind of help you out with what those dollars are, because you don't have to be great at math. It's a lot of things out there, a lot of tools, a lot of resources, a lot of things, or experts that'll say you need to know this, you need to know this. You don't need to be an expert. Some of the most uneducated people are some of the best entrepreneurs, because they aren't stuck inside the box. But even if you're a very analytical person like me, you can still make it. So free early bird gift for those that are tuning in, something that will be able to help you. And it's one of the things that I always like to suggest to an entrepreneur, and that's to get your own website. And so I'll get into this in a little bit later, but again, so that you have it for joining in early today, and I appreciate you. Early bird link, if you go to this link, then you'll be able to get a website going for less than $4 a month. I don't know anywhere else where that's happening at with the quality. Same service that I use, which is Bluehost, but for less than $4 a month, you can get an email, you get a website and everything like that. And I'm actually going to be releasing a startup entrepreneur's blueprint course that I'm going to be releasing. It'll probably be, I think I'm going to do it for super cheap. But a startup entrepreneur's blueprint course that'll be coming out a little bit later, after I release this other video guide that's coming out later this month, maybe in May, late May or something like that. But I'll be here to help you, walk you through, and I'll actually do some tutorials and things like that to help you along the way. A lot of free resources, a lot of things that you can use, a lot of things that you can do to get your business going. But without question, when you're starting a business, you're going to need to get a website at some point or another time. You can use other resources, and I'll cover some of those again in a few minutes here, because this broadcast is going to be very short today. But again, you want to know where you need to go to get a website. It's only a few that I suggest, but this is my number one right here. So this will get it for you at a discount, less than $4 a month. So your free early bird gift, because I appreciate you. Now let's move on. So we know we don't have the time. We know we don't have the money. And we know we need all these different things and whatever else, to really get going. So what do we do? The first thing that you want to do, number 3. I was on to number 4, but we're on number 3, is where are you losing the time and the money? Okay, so you know how much you have currently with everything that you're doing, and that's time and money. So now you want to know, where am I costing myself dollars? And one easy thing, guaranteed, I promise you everybody can find, is fast food. Now, I love good food. Anybody that knows me, they know specifically the kinds of food that I like. They aren't the best, healthiest foods, and I'm trying to just deal with that sensation as I start to cycle more and get out and exercise more. It is tough, okay? It is very, very hard when you have food that you love and then you have to stop eating it for your health and just to be better. So I understand the frustration there, but one of the things for me that was huge was fast food. I looked at my finances probably a couple years ago to the point where I realized this, and that was, I think I know for sure, it was like over $150 guaranteed. Easy. Over $150 I was just spending on fast food. This is in the morning. This is for lunch, especially for lunch if you're what I call a workpreneur or a working entrepreneur. So again, if I'm teaching you today how to start a business part-time, you're what I call a workpreneur or a working entrepreneur. You have a lot of time that you spend on your job, a little bit of time that you want to or have available to even do business. And so again, you want to know, where am I losing time? Where am I losing money? I was losing a lot of money. And this was not just every 3 months or something. It was 150. No, this was like every month. I pulled the past 3 bank statements. I went through with a couple highlighters, and I talked about this on one of the podcast episodes early on in the podcast, which is the Passion to Business podcast. You can find it on iTunes and Stitcher, my shameless plug there. But I went through and I just was describing how I pulled my bank statements, and I went, McDonald's, Wendy's, Pizza Hut, just whatever. And it was not always me, okay? It wasn't always me. I have a lot of nieces and nephews that come over here for pizza and stuff. I like pizza too. And so we just would eat. We just would eat the food. But no, seriously. It just go through and I was highlighting stuff. And I'm like, God, Lee, this is disgusting. For me, it was disgusting because I'm looking at my money and I'm like, dang, I'm talking about the things that I want to do and the things that I want to create. And I'm saying I don't have money to do it. And now I see why. It becomes very easy to see why it's not there, why it doesn't exist. It's because it may be being used. And it could be something small, like it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But I know David Bach, he is the writer of Smart Women Finish Rich. And in that book, he calls it the latte factor. A lot of different financial experts call it a lot of different things, but I like that particular title, the latte factor. What's that small thing that we're not really paying attention to that's causing us to lose a lot of money over time? What is it? So, it could be coffee that you're getting every morning or afternoon or whatever, depending if you're a coffee addict like me. It could be fast food. It could be anything. So where are the things? What are those specific things that you're continuously spending? And you can pull your bank statements and do the same thing. And it's just kind of like trash, money that's going straight to the trash. Where is it? And where are you losing time? Where are you losing the money? And so that's a really huge component. It seems like a very small thing to do, but the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. And so moving right along, the fourth and one of the most important final things about how to start a business part-time is that you have to have an agenda. So once you know the things that are costing you money, once you know the things that are using up your time, once you know the things that are using up, like I said, your time, your money, and just what's causing you to waste that little bit that you have, or whatever that amount is that you have, then you want to make sure that you set an agenda. So now we've gotten to the point, like when you go through these simple steps, and like I said, the things that are simple to do and easy to do are also easy not to do. And so once you go through those simple things and figuring out what your schedule is, where do you have time, utilize your breaks and your lunches. I'm telling you, utilize your breaks and your lunches. I don't care if it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Take some time. Most people, depending on what you're eating, it may only take 15 or 20 minutes to potentially eat, especially when you're accustomed to working. You typically eat faster than you should. So if you're used to doing that already, Okay, so it takes you 20 minutes to eat or something like that. One of the things I tried out for a while, which I enjoyed, but I still like to eat regular food on lunch, is try like the meal replacement shakes. Because again, I can drink it and I can also work. And I'm also getting the sensation that I'm full or what have you, and getting whatever nutrients, stuff like that. Again, you want to seek your professional health and medical advisor on what is good for you. But again, that was something that I tried, worked out well in the mornings, as well as at lunch and stuff like that, or just kind of swapping it out every so often. And so with that, again, so you have to set an agenda. So now you have a little bit of time that you were able to shave back off of the things that you are doing. Maybe you have a little bit more money because you stopped wasting $150 on fast food. Not saying that you have to just completely go down to a completely frugal lifestyle. I did because it was that important to me. Or at the time I did. Now I have a little bit more leeway. I can, do things a little different now. But at that time, it was tough. It was really, really tough. I was staying someplace I didn't like. I was driving a car that I didn't like, that wasn't running all that great. And I was going to a place that I really didn't like. And so when you have all those different things, it's like, to get something that I do want, okay, where am I screwing up at? You just kind of have to get real with yourselves. Where am I really messing up at? And so with that, you want to set an agenda. If you know specifically that you're going to be what I call a weekend warrior, and Saturday and Sunday is your day to run your business, then Monday through Friday of that prior week, you have to know exactly what you're going to be doing. So there are breaks and lunches. Maybe you aren't making phone calls. Maybe you aren't reaching out to people on social media and stuff like that. You want to make sure, okay, I need to run this business part-time. My part-time time frame is on the weekends. That's when I have, maybe it's from 6:30 to 9:30 on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, or maybe it's whatever your schedule may be. It could be from 12 to 1 on a Sunday, and just those two small blocks of hours are what you're going to be able to use. And don't look at the hours, look at the minutes. Because if you had to sit for 15 minutes and wait for somebody to come out of their job, if you were picking them up, if you've ever been in that situation, that seems like a very, very long time. But when you're sitting at home, you're watching TV, and you got access to all these different kinds of things, then it makes it very, very easy to burn through time. So you want to make sure that you're not doing that when all possible. So again, look at the minutes, don't look at the hours. And so with that, you want to make sure that you're setting an agenda. Set an agenda, because it'll give you a certain structure, a certain way of doing things to stick to. Stick to it and stay to it. So you figure out, okay, I have between this hour and this hour, and it can fluctuate per week. It doesn't necessarily have to stay the same. It can definitely change, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you want to make sure, okay, if that's continuously going to change every week, I need to take my lunch on every Wednesday and just book out what that next week is going to look like, because your job is at least going to give you your schedule in advance. So to start your business part-time, these are things that you need to do. Once you're able to recoup that time, once you're able to recoup the money that you are using, or just pull some of that back from things that don't matter as much right now, like I said, like some fast food, then you'll be in a way better position to actually start operating your business on a part-time basis than actually just, feeling like you just don't have it. And most of the time when it's something that we feel like we don't have, it's because we're not really consciously aware of what we do currently have. And so you say you don't have a lot of time. Okay, what time do you actually have? And don't just list it out. Don't just say it. Really write it down. Because once you look at it on paper, it takes another different type of presence than just thinking about it. We can think about stuff all day, especially women. We can think about stuff all day long, and it'll seem overwhelming. Everything, if you think about all the times you broke up with somebody or somebody hurt your feelings, it'll seem overwhelming. But if you only went from January to March of when that happened, maybe it wasn't so much. Maybe it wasn't as much. Maybe it didn't occur that often, So again, set that agenda. Another something that I wanted to give you guys as well was a video walkthrough that I did previously, which was how to create and set up a Facebook page. One of the things that I talk about in another free gift that I'm going to be giving out here in just a minute, it's not really a gift, it's just something I'm helping you along with. So when you first start up your business, like I said, you can start a page in your name. You can and I talked about this on 2 of my last live sessions that I did, or live talks that I did, where it's about getting out into the digital world. Even if you're uncomfortable, even if you're not used to it, you want to make sure that you're getting out into the digital world, putting yourself out there. This is putting yourself out there, doing these live talks, doing a podcast, doing a call, having something, you have to have some kind of social media presence, even if you're not used to it. So this link right here will take you to a video that I did, and it may be like maybe even less than 4 minutes, or right at 4 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes maybe, but it'll walk you through on how to set up a Facebook page. You don't necessarily have to have your business completely set up. You can always change your page name, change the layout and the structure of the page after the fact, but start setting some things up. Start talking about the things that you want to do. Start sharing what it is that you're doing, because again, when you're talking about sharing your business online, and you could want to start a brick and mortar business, you're still going to need one. Let people know what it is that you're doing. Even if maybe you want to start your own pizzeria, and you know that you want that to be a brick and mortar business. Okay, great. Let people start seeing at least what you're able to create in your kitchen. That could be something that you give away later on and start building up your email list. All of these things are things that I talk about in my startup guide for entrepreneurs, which was the basics to starting a business. And with that, that'll walk you through more than just this. I don't even think I discussed this stuff in there, because it assumes that you've already potentially done these steps or what have you. And it goes right into the mechanics, right into the steps, right into the how-tos, the actual how-tos. Like, go to irs.gov, click on this specific link, and actually put the link in the guide and tell you, go here. This is what you want to do. You want to click on this, click on this. This will help set you up your tax ID number or EIN. Then you want to go over here, and you need to specifically go to this state. Okay, you're in such and such state in the United States. When you click on this map that I have, of the United States, all 50 states, you click on it, and it will take you directly to your particular state's Secretary of State. Say that 5 times fast. Take you directly to that link for your Secretary of State, and they'll give you, for your specific state, instructions, because you do have that federal side and you have the state side of the things that you need to do for the requirements. And this is not something that I have to continuously go back through and update. I'll periodically check the links to make sure they aren't broken or anything like that, and that they're working. But this will always take you to the most recent and most updated page. And I did this in January when I went back through recently, updated the links. And so that you know, excuse me, for your state specifically, what are they saying that you need to have in place? So you have to make sure, based off of your home state or where it is that you're located, what is your Secretary of State's office saying that you need to do to start a business there? Where are you going to go to get your documents and everything like that? Again, like your tax ID number, you can really fill that stuff out online, and I'll give you the specific links and things like that. I'll also share with you my suggestions of where you can actually go to get a website. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the one that I gave. So if you're just joining in, I gave early on for the early bird, as early bird guest, and you can watch it on the replay as well, where you can go and get a website started for less than $4 a month. Same service that I use. I absolutely love it. It's incredible. But you also get all the different things that are really important to a startup entrepreneur without having to be nickel and dime by a lot of different sites. What I suggest, what I don't suggest, and so forth. And it's just, packed full of stuff. Not going to talk about it all day, because like I said, we're pretty much done here. But this is where you can actually go to find it. And it's the basics to starting a business, free guide. All you do is you go to the link, put in your name, put in your best email address to actually send this to you at, and it'll come immediately to your email box. And that's just my gift to you. I give it away all the time, but specifically because, again, I got so frustrated and I got so upset initially just looking for the stuff myself when I was first getting started. Just looking for the stuff was ridiculous. And you ask people certain questions and they have no idea. Could be because they hired somebody, but even who they hired didn't help educate them. So if they wanted to do it again, if they were a serial entrepreneur and wanted to start multiple businesses, they wouldn't tell them because they wanted them to continue to come back. Even though I coach and I work with startup entrepreneurs, and I specifically have a consulting business just for that, I still teach and help my clients. This is where you need to go. I'll send you an email. Click this, click this, click this. Most of them have this guide already, but if they have any questions about it, we actually go through, we walk through it, and I'm like, this is what you need to do, or this is specific to your business, so do this, and this is something that's not in the guide. But for any entrepreneur, just about any startup entrepreneur, this guide will absolutely help you. This is something I put together because I said I was frustrated. One, just continuously answering the same questions, and then the crap that's just out there, not telling people stuff. So that's something that you can use. So I hope that it brings value to you in your business. And again, like I said, it's just something free that I want you guys to have because it's important to not waste time. We're already talking about the things that we don't have a lot of time and money for. Wasting your time is worse than wasting your money. because you can recoup the money back. You can work another 5 hours and maybe get back whatever it is that you spent on something, but you can't get the time back. Time is that one commodity that we actually cannot get back. And so to honor your time, and I'm actually hitting right on the money with my time with this talk that we're talking about how to actually start your business part-time. This is all that we have for today. So again, we covered just what are the things that are wasting and eating up your time? Where is your time? Where is your money? And then being able to set and create an agenda of just what to do next, and where our time slots are that we actually can use and start implementing our business. And then you actually want to take those time slots that you have. It doesn't matter if it's 2 hours or 1 hour. If it's 30 minutes that you can have or that you squeeze out, or maybe you get up 1 hour early a day or 3 times a day or twice a week, not 3 times a day, but 3 times a week or twice a week, maybe just once a week, and earn yourself an extra hour. Do it. If it's important enough for you to transition your passion into the business that you love, you got to do it. Sometimes we have to make those sacrifices, and it's not easy. It's not comfortable, but it's just something. It's one of those necessary evils that we kind of have to do. And then you'll potentially get to the point to where you'll have more than enough time and more than enough money, or more than you had when you first got started. So again, if you guys have any questions, then please feel free to comment down below. Make sure you hit the like button. Share this out to somebody if you feel that they could use it or need it. But again, I appreciate you guys as always. And as always, my friends, live with passion. I'll see you guys on the next live session or on Monday with the Passion to Business podcast. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great week.